back again doing that that second video at Westy's house I was telling you about. So for the second one we're doing this gorgeous rack of lamb. So I've got a French trimmed rack of lamb here, and I'm going to be just butterflying that out and doing a rack of lamb roulade, and I'll be stuffing that with bacon, some Tuscan cabbage and some char grilled capsicum, rolling that up, trussing it, putting in the pan, put it in the oven, and I'll be doing that on a very quick cassoulet, a mixed bean and chorizo cassoulet, which is a French casserole. I'm going to try and keep this video as quick as possible, but it's going to be fantastic. So let's get into it. So I've got a red capsicum here that I've just put a little bit of oil on. I need to char grill that off, so I've just put it straight on the gas hob, and that's going to char the outer skin on, and I'll just be able to wash that off. So while that's doing that, I'm going to blanch my Tuscan cabbage, just in a little bit of salted water, and once these two are done, I'll be able to put my roulade. Right, so with this lamb rack, there's a few things we need to do to get it ready first. These rib bones over here, we need to clean them up, otherwise they'll burn in the oven, and this silver skin over here needs to come off. So starting with the rib bones, just using a paring knife, just cleaning the bone all the way around. Now there's another way of doing this which is a little bit faster. It has a not as nice an effect, but it all depends how much time you have, and that's taking a piece of aluminium foil and wrapping it around those bones, and then they won't color at all in the oven. So that's another way of doing it, but obviously I'm gonna go all the way and just trim it right back and clean it up, and I don't want any meat left on that bone at all. So the capsicum's done, it's charred all the way around, the skin's nice and soft, so we'll just take it over now and wash it. All I've got to do now is just butterfly that lamb open. So I'm just going to start over here with that silver skin. Take that off. And leaving as much of the meat on as possible. Just take the silver skin off only. Now it's important that the silver skin comes off because when protein is exposed to heat, it contracts, and with that silver skin there, it's going to curl right up, and it's going to make that lamb really tough. So we just trim it right there. Once I've done that, just run the knife gently along the inside of the bone, just 3/4 of the way through. Very careful not to take the loin completely off the bone. You can see that it's still attached. Then I run the knife along the bottom and I butterfly it out. And I just keep running that knife along there. Till I get that. Then next up we'll put some capsicum, and I'll just try and cut it as thin as possible so it gives me good coverage. The capsicum's for not so much flavour, it's more for colour. Be very careful to take off that rind. I'm going to put that down the bottom. Just maybe put another piece of Tuscan cabbage right over there. Now, just like you would roll up sushi, you start rolling this up. Now try and keep it as tight as possible. So we get it there. So starting on the outside, just slice it up, truss it, keeping it quite tight, and we move from one side to the other so that we get a nice even rack. So I'm going to go through and trim these all up. And that's my roulade. So she's ready to go into the pan now. So while I'm doing that, I'll just get some lentils on to cook, get some beans on to cook as well, and be ready in a few minutes. Right, so I got my pan here, just with some olive oil, and as you can see, I've just threaded some rosemary through the top of that lamb to give it some flavour. While she's peeling it off, I'll get some salt and pepper on it quickly, and then we'll transfer it over to this baking tray. So that's ready to go into the oven now. 180, just normal fan force. So now I'm going to do the base for the lamb. I'm just going to do a lentil, bean and chorizo cassoulet. Cassoulet is a French style casserole. Now I'm not going to do the traditional way, I'm just going to do it really fast way. My lamb is about 5 to 10 minutes off. So just a really quick version, but a really tasty, punchy version to go under that lamb, and it'll complement really well. So I'll just show you what I've got here. Now over here I've got some lentils. Just regular brown lentils. You can use French green poi lentils if you want, but I've just cooked these in a little bit of stock and bay leaf. Then over here I've got some cannellini beans that I've just blanched as well. Diced tomato without the seeds, chopped parsley, beef stock, leeks. I've washed all the sand out of that, they're clean and chopped as well. And these are just little chorizo sausages that I've cut in half. So what I'll do is I'll just cut them in half and just cube them as well, so it matches everything else. Okay, so I'm starting off with a medium heat pan. I'll put in my leeks. To that I add about half a teaspoon of garlic. Add in my chorizo. and my tomato. Ideally, by the time the sauce is finished, by the time the cassoulet is finished, I'd like the tomato to be completely cooked out, so I'm adding it pretty early. I'm going to add now the rest of that grilled capsicum that I did earlier. And about a quarter glass of red wine. To that I add, what's that, about 500 ml of beef stock. And then put that on high heat and just let it reduce right down. When it gets to about halfway, then I'll add my lentils, I'll add my cannellini beans, and right at the end I'll add my chopped parsley. So that lamb's just come out the oven now. It's going to need a good, I'd say 4 minutes to rest. So I'll just leave it there, let it rest, let the muscle relax. As you can see, there's still a fair amount of juice coming out of it. So I'll just let that rest, and then once that cassoulet finishes off, we'll plate that up. Must say it's smelling sensational. Right, so the liquid's reduced quite considerably now. To this, I now add my cannellini beans and the lentils that are blanched. Put them in, and then again allow it to reduce a little bit more. When that liquid over there just coats the beans, I'll throw my parsley and adjust the seasoning, and that'll be ready. I'll put that in the center of the plate. Give the lamb something to sit on. Now I've put that lamb back under the grill for possibly 30 to 40 seconds just to reheat it, and I'm just cutting that butcher's twine off. Take it off completely. We'll do 3 and then 2, so this one on there, and we'll lean that one up like that. A bit of rosemary on it, and that's us. I would put a little bit of olive oil around the outside, but I think that's really good the way it is. I'm just going to leave it like that. So there you go. That's my roulade rack of lamb. Now if you have a look over here, you see the spiral design in the middle? That's what makes it a roulade. So with our Tuscan spinach in the middle, our bacon, and then our roast capsicum with the Tuscan cabbage on the outside again.